All right, all right. We're back with FSL action. Let us bring Sep in here. There you go, Sep's here. We're ready to go.
What's up? What's up?
Day 26, boys and girls.
Yeah, we're about one, two, three days or 3 nights remaining in our regular season, and we're gonna wrap this up and head right into the playoffs. So it's gonna be pretty exciting.
But this is what we're actually supposed to see. There you go, guys.
See here.
All right, so we got what? Code A and 2 Code S games.
Yeah, we have the last game of Code A to wrap it up. It's it doesn't have any playoff. Well, actually, second to last. I'm sorry. It doesn't have any playoff implications. But I'd like to see Stu Blue really show um, something really cool with against Criminal, right? See how he's improved. And then we also have the 2 Code S games, which really matters in terms of playoff positioning, because nobody's locked any seeds yet. They've locked the playoff spot, but not necessarily where they're going to be and who they're going to be playing. So that's going to be determined a lot by tonight's game with Dark Menace, Sir Maligant, and Hurt in Time trying to play spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, they want to be for sure, but I think the bigger spoiler possibility is Sir Maligant. He has been on a hot streak since
Well, so Sir Maligant still has a chance to get the #1 seed, right? So if he wins tonight, and actually, never mind. I take that back. There's no way he can catch Neutrophil in terms of map wins. But he can get 2nd seed all the way down to 5th seed. So actually, maybe just 2nd to 4th, right? I don't think he can drop below 4th.
Yeah.
But
Time is obviously out. He has not won this season, but maybe he'll. And he's got a tough one against Dark Menace, man.
Yeah, Dark Menace has a chance to get the #1 seed. If he falls tonight in any of the games, it'll be up to Instability to close it out with a game against Mizel. But yeah, the #1 seed is the coveted spot because you get to sit there and wait for the 5th seed. Whoever comes out between the 5th seed and whoever comes out of the Code A, they do a play-in. And so you play that last seed. In the meantime, seeds 2, 3, and 4 will duke it out, and only will one come out, right? And so you don't want to be in that, in that ring against those 3 players. So that's why people want to get that #1 seed.
It's gonna be tough for sure.
So yeah, we're waiting for some of our players still. I think Sir Maligant is gonna come on. We can start with Sir Maligant and Dark Menace. But yeah, that's our lineup for tonight. And then if you look at the rest of the schedule, there's a lot to be determined in the next 3 days, or 3 of these scheduled nights or days, wherever you are. If you look at the schedule right now, that the Tortoise and Hare team still has a lot. Those two games they play mean a lot in terms of who makes it to the playoffs and where they are. But I think we can get started with the Dark Menace and Sir Maligant game.
Hey guys.
There. So speaking of Sir Maligant, there he is. We just need their cameras and also Dark Menace to join, and we can talk to our players.
Yeah, they also need to do their vetoes.
Yeah, and so we were talking about the schedule, right? Benzel can play a spoiler here for Codeo, but I think the Tortoise and Hare versus Little Dom matchup, I think that will determine the last playoff spot. and that's gonna be this Friday. And then on Code A, Cyan versus Deepu on Friday. That's pretty much a playoff game because winner gets to the playoffs, losers out. So
Big
that's
deal.
yeah, big deal. Then the Wednesday, which we added another day here on May 4th for regular season, we've got in the Code S, we have two Mizel matches. And if he wins those two matches, which is gonna be a tough order, but if he does win those two matches, he is in and KJ Freedom is out.
Yeah, I regret,
Oh.
kind of assuming I was in, because
Yeah,
in game 3, I kind
because-
of like, you know what, let me have some fun. And I ended up losing that match.
And because of that loss, then you would lose the head-to-head tiebreaker. And so if Mizel gets those two victories, you guys will be tied. And due to that loss in game 3, he will win the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not gonna be an easy feat. He's gonna face against Ghost Chant, which is gonna be tough.
Yep.
But Ghost Chant's already indicated he hates mech, so I'm not gonna be surprised if Mizel just goes mechs it out. But then the tough one will be against Instability. But
Yeah.
it's not a foregone conclusion.
It's possible. And that's the problem for me. So, that
Yeah.
is the mistake.
And then on the on the 2v2 side on the last day, Kodeo's just for fighting for playoff positioning. Benzel and the blind leading the death are out, but we're gonna be playing those games to wrap it up. And then right after that, on Friday, May 6th, playoff starts. So
Nice. May 6th. Okay.
so yeah, let's actually talk to our players here. Let's bring up Dark Menace. Alright, joining us here we have Sir Malignant and Dark Menace. Both are gonna be playing tonight. What are the playoff implications for this match? Well, Dark Menace is still fighting for a number 1 slot. And losing here is not going to help him because now Instability will control her own destiny. And Sir Malignant, actually, I don't think he can get the number 1 slot because a lot of players have a better map difference score. So this it's funny because 4 players, Instability, Neutrophil, Dark Menace, and Sir Malignant, could theoretically all finish 6-2. And if it's a 6-2 tie among those 4 players, then it comes down to the overall map difference and so forth. But I don't think Sir Malignant wins out in that scenario. But otherwise, he's pretty much locked between 2, 3, or 4 slots.
Yep.
But Dark Menace is still fighting for the number 1 slot, so this is a somewhat important game for him. But I don't think he might treat it as such. But it'll be easier road to the finals, to return to the finals if he gets the number 1 seed.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk to our players here. Sir Malignant, start with you. First question that everybody wants to know, and all your fans and everybody on chat, how's your back? What's going on? Can you hear us?
He's talking, but he's not.
Alright, guys, I was on mute. So yeah, my back's still bugging me. I haven't played really because I couldn't sit for a long time. Then works in the way. I'm so behind because I had to take a few days off. So now I'm trying to catch up. No playing. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
Is it going to affect your ability to press that side storm button on,
I know,
on
right?
your opponents?
We'll see how I micro tonight.
You better get enough
See,
side storm because you're facing the tough Zerg here. He's gonna make
know,
a
right?
lot of units.
So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can steal a game from Dark Menace.
Steal a game. Dark Menace, I know we talked about playoff implications, playoff standings. Do you pay attention to any of that, or do you have the mentality of, look, I'm in the playoffs, I'll just beat anybody who's in my way?
I mean, I don't really care going into playing. I kind of just want to play neutral in the finals again.
Ah, there we go.
There it is.
The rematch.
All right. Well, if you don't win the number one seed, right, you might have to face Neutrophil in an earlier round, not in the finals. Are you gonna be okay with that?
But
Probably. Okay. I know he's always tight-lipped on these interviews, right? I think he's been trained with the Korean style of interviewing, right? It's so hard to get anything out of them. But KJ, do you have any questions here for these two players?
You guys are talking about, Neutrophil, Sir Maligant, Dark Menace. That's the top three out of the four, but you're forgetting instability, who you guys have to go through. So good luck to you guys. This is a preview
Alright.
because Sir Maligant will be a mini instability for tonight's game. What do you think about that, Dark Menace?
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, let me ask this then. If you see Sir Maligant going full sky toss on you tonight, what are you gonna do?
Yes.
Yes. We'll
No,
just take it.
yes.
Okay. Sir Maligant, any strats, or are you just gonna keep it vanilla and neutral and wait for the playoffs?
Well, I mean, I've seen Dark Menace play. The last time we played, I think, just casual playing. I haven't. Did I win against Dark Menace? I don't think I won against
you
Dark
lost.
Menace. Yeah, I think I lost to Dark Menace when we were just playing casually. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Right now, I haven't played, man. I haven't played for 2 weeks, so this is my first game. We'll see how it goes. When you guys texted me that heard the time we can't play, I was hoping that I could play in like a couple of warm-up games, but
A couple of warm-up games.
so we'll see the first game. We'll see how
Well,
it goes.
the good news is you've been on a hot streak, Maligant, since you lost to me. So,
Yeah, that's true.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, Sir Maligant's two losses have been against Instability and KJ Freedom, and since then he's pretty much in a good streak. So let's see if he keeps it going. Dark Menace, your only loss has come against Neutrophil, which I know you're still looking forward to meet again in the playoffs.
Actually, it's against
Oh,
instability.
Instability. I'm sorry, and against Instability. So that's only one loss. Let's see how it works out tonight, and good luck. Have fun. We'll mute and deafen you. We can get started. Let's mute and deafen these players. Alright, KJ. Who do you got here, and why is it Dark Menace?
Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be that. I just don't see him pulling it off, but it's possible. He, in his prime, I would definitely put him at the edge. Right now, I think the best he can do is probably a 2-1, unless we see another meltdown here against the top
Yeah.
toss player.
The only thing though is if you do a scouting report on Dark Menace, we can talk about all his strengths and forte.
Yeah.
But on the other side, the flip side of that coin, his weakness has always been Protoss Sky Toss, right?
Yeah, if he can pull that off. Now, I don't know
So-
if he knows how to do that. Maligant has the right, meta on that.
Yeah.
Right? Just kind of gets to it. I played him a gazillion times. Anyway, guys, we're gonna load into it, and we're starting off, as you can see, on 2,000 atmospheres. Oh, we're gonna have to pause. Looks like something froze on my side right after this. So, make sure you get
Okay.
that all set up.
I'll pause it real quick before we get started.
Yeah, talk about
Game
with the
paused.
players. You can talk about what you think what's gonna happen while I sort it out.
So yeah, I mean the thing about Dark Menace is he's had trouble dealing with Sky Toss, as a lot of Zerg
Yeah.
has that same problem.
Yep.
Yeah. But the problem is I haven't seen him address that issue recently. right? He hasn't been doing the things to try to fix that, and force other people to stop doing that on him. But like you said, Sir Maligan doesn't do that as often. Sir Maligan, scouting report wise, he loves his ground units. He loves his Robo play, Dark Templar play,
Yeah.
right? But he does dabble. He does go into the Sky Toss route here and there. And let's see if he favors that in this matchup, because this is, if you're gonna beat Dark Menace, if I was gonna be playing him tonight, that's what I would gonna be going
Yeah. The thing
right?
is, you can't just rush to Sky Toss too, right?
Yeah,
You can
definitely.
get run over. You gotta be pretty careful.
So I think what you have to do, and I think I remember my game with him before, you have to just survive the mid game until you get 3, and then once you get the 4th base and you're playing defensive, and then you transition to Sky Toss. Once those carriers starts coming out and you have a good 4 base economy, right? That's when Dark Menace starts having trouble dealing with it. Now, how do you deal with it as Zerg? Well, a lot of people just makes a lot of corruptors, right? But then they're susceptible to Psystorm and Archons underneath. That's why you have to complement it with other units such as Broodlords or even Ultralisks to clear the ground units before you jump in there with your corruptors, right?
Yeah.
So, and I haven't seen him do that very well recently, and I think that's something that he can work on before the playoffs. Because I already know he's gonna face that a lot once he gets there.
Yeah, and the thing is too, when we saw him deal with Sky Toss, it was a perfect instability transition to Sky Toss. So it's not easy to pull that off.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it isn't easy. But that is his weakness, and if you were gonna pick an angle to attack him, I think that would be the best angle. So let's see if Sir Maligan does that. But we'll see. I mean, once we get this game going, we'll find out.
All right. Well, let's go try it out now. I think we could be good to go. Let me just. I'll give you the start.
Okay. All right. Are we ready? Production.
FSL. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2.
Game resumed.
All right. All right. I guess I'm gonna be casting solo here. Introducing our players here on the top right corner of 2,000 atmospheres. The green Protoss. He is
Sir Maligan.
And his opponent, the orange Zerg. He is
Dark Menace.
Alright, you be solo casting, but I'll make some snide comments here or there. Things like
Yeah, standard openers here for both. Sir Maligan's gonna be doing a low ground wall, and just a patch first for Dark Menace. So the things are not really gonna start picking up here until we see the cyber complete, and then we can see what Sir Maligan wants to do with his first tech. Right, there's that queued up probe, but there's no proxies here, so this is not really gonna get ramped up really quickly. It's gonna take its time here for things to settle down, get their expansions. Sir Maligan getting his wall, and Dark Menace probably is gonna get his 3rd around the 215 mark, which he likes to do. Let's see if he does that. He is looking around though. It's like, all right, there's something fishy with this probe, still hanging around. That is a late gas there. What did? Oh, I can't ask you that question since
But you're right.
But yeah, that's a pretty late gas for Dark Menace. I wonder if he's gonna be taking his 3rd earlier than usual. But yeah, I mean the first Overlord that sent out scouts the wall, scouts the cyber, and you only see one pylon here. So you don't know if a second pylon has been put somewhere in the map, proxied. We all know it's not. It's in the behind the main base here, so there's nothing proxied. But there is that the third hatchery coming up right around 2:15, but he is late about 8 seconds than his usual. But he does take it really early, earlier than other Zergs that we've seen. And there's a speed. So, all right, there it is. So the tech choice here for Sir Malagant is a Twilight, and let's see if he's gonna go Adepts. He's been favoring Adepts lately, or he drops down a Dark Shrine there. I doubt that he will go Dark Shrine because I think Dark Menace. Oh no, it's Charge. Okay. So, this I don't think doesn't look like it's a committed one. Unless we see the gateway explosion here for Sir Malagant. But he is making a sentry. He wants to be able to scout. But I think he's just gonna play standard here and see if he can make some units to be able to take his thirds safely. And at the same time send out hallucinations to make sure Dark Menace is not pulling a past one on him. So yeah, it's not gonna ramp up here. There is a layer already on the way for Dark Menace. But yeah, that's a curious choice here with the charge. But look, there are 3 more gateways. 4. All right, and I think he was planning on making a proxy across the map and then just overrunning him with charge slots. But that probe was found. I think Dark Menace saw it go across the map, so that's why he was looking for it, and he indeed found it and took care of it. So there is no proxy. Sir Malagant is gonna try again with another. I think there's a there's a run by here. Alright, so we warped in Zella. The Zella was picked off rather quickly. 3 Lings break off from that fight to hide in the bottom corner of the main base. I think that's going to turn into Banelings, so he can take a surprise Baneling hit. But it's a Roach Warren here for Dark Menace, just to make sure he doesn't die. There is a Hydra Den, so he can transition. He can move into the mid-game much easier, but he has a Roach Warren just in case. He does produce 3 Roaches. The Lings are still in the main base. It's going to actually come back in, not morph into Banelings. He's going to see if he can pick up a few more probes. It's going to take out 1. I think that... no, but he's going to run back. And is he going to make it... Oh, no. He can't make it to a Banelings. He did not make a Banelings nest. So, but here's the attack here for Sir Malagant. But I don't... This is a paltry force here. There's not enough here. He's just going to need to back up. He can't even reinforce this. And I think this is going to get cleaned up pretty easily. And with that, Dark Menace is just taking a commanding lead here. The third base is not down for Sir Malagant, and his economy is going to be so far behind. Now, Dark Menace is joining now, but he stopped joining for a while. But even then, he's up tremendous amount of workers. There's the third. I think Sir Malagant tries to see if he can push the issue there, but sees there's a lot of units. And opts to just take it to the next level here, the game. He's going to take his third, making sure he has... there's these... The Zealots going to be thrown away. There was a proxy there, but I think there's enough roaches here to be able to push back any small Zealot run-bys. But this does not look good for Sir Malagant here. He does not have any AoE whatsoever. And the Hydras and their Lings are already being amassed. And so no Storm, there's no Templar Archives. There is a Robo on the way, but that is just about a third done. It's going to take a while for him to get any sort of AoE. He's going to need a lot of shield batteries on his third if he wants to keep it, but I don't think... But you know what? It's not a big force yet for for Dark Menace here, so he can easily deal with this. But if the Hydras starts posturing there... That's in, I think it's in the between all his bases, Dark Menace's main army. If that moves out, that's gonna be trouble. But Sir Maligan, Dark Manus is just gonna poke with these roaches. I don't know if there's actually there are no shield batteries here, and he does not use force field. Sir Maligan is slow to react. Gets the one roach, but loses 2 sentries right away. The other roaches that were in position counters as well. So he lost 3 probes, 2 sentries, and a bunch of zealots, I believe. In exchange, Dark Menace is just really sending throwaway roaches at this point because he's doing full Ling Hydra production. He's droning up. I don't know about this move out though by Sir Maligan. You need to get back. You're gonna get surrounded by these speedlings and you're gonna lose all of these units. There are a lot of force fields to delay, but alright, so Dark Menace says back off. Sir Maligan goes back to the safety of shield batteries on his 3rd. Immortals are in production, but there's not a lot of units here that the Immortals are good against. Roaches are all gone. He needs AoE, and AoE either... Alright, here's the battle here. Look at the Hydras. These are the glass cannons in the army. They're providing so much DPS from the back lines. The Lynx are just in the front to tank. Shield battery overcharge have been popped, but it's not being targeted by Dark Menace. They're fighting it out. There's Zealous being warped in. And... you know what? So Dark Menace is not targeting that shield battery. There it is. He gets the shield battery by depowering it. But he, Sir Maligan's losing a lot of units here. The 2 Immortals up top are fighting against flock of Hydras. Alright, here I think this will help him clean this up, but at what cost? He's falling behind. He hasn't started the pylon on his 3rd. I think he will hold here for a little bit. I think Sir Maligan will have another warp-in cycle here in time. By the time the shield, this pylon finishes. 2 Lings, runs by, goes to the natural, turns into Banelings. Let's see if Sir Maligan notices that. Because otherwise, that's going to probably take out, what, 8 probes, most likely. Alright, the Banelings are done. Let's see the Banelings on the natural. No reaction for Sir Maligan. Oh, I was right. 8, exactly. Alright, so where are we at? 73 workers for Dark Menace. Sir Maligan is just limping along at 49 workers. AoE is almost there. The Robo Facility, the Robo Bay, almost done. Let's see if he makes a Colossus right away or he's going to do Disruptors. Alright, so it is a Colossus range has been started, which is good against these Lings, the Ling Hydra composition. It's not good against Roaches, but it's going to be mostly Lings and Hydras here. So, Colossus would be the right choice. However, there are Lurkers now that's going to complicate things. He hasn't even started. There it is. The Colossus Colossus has been started. Sir Maligan sees this big army. Is he going to jump on it? But he doesn't have detection. But instead, he's just going to see if he can force the issue on the 4th. Makes Dark Menace run back. And here's the battle. Force field doesn't really do anything. He's going to try to run back, but he can't because the Lings are surrounding him. These Lings are powerful Lings because they're already 1-1. Protoss is not even +1 yet on the attack. So I think... Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's see. I don't think Sir Maligan can hold on here because he doesn't have detection. Detection has finally been started, but that will halt his Colossus production. And even then, this one Colossus, I don't think is enough to be able to take care of this. And I think this will be it here for Sir Maligan. I mean, he's gonna try to take his 3rd. He's gonna try to delay this, but by the next attack, I think Dark Menace will be maxed out at that point. He does have a bank and minerals already. He does have 33 larvae, so he can just mass produce Hydras really quickly. Disruptors are on the way, but I don't think, I think this is it. He can't even get his 3rd because there's one Lurker there, and I think the Lurker is just causing so much problems for him. is forced to try to do something, has been surrounded, and I think this will be GG. There it is. GG by Sir Maligan. Good game there for Dark Menace. Takes the 1-0 lead. Let's see what adjustments Sir Maligan does in this next game.
Well, a pretty good game for Dark Knight. He did make a pretty crucial mistake. He didn't kill the shield battery that was overcharging, nor that pylon. And
Yeah, well, he
8
eventually
Zealots got
killed
in.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but 8
eventually
Zealots
that
got
one.
in. You know, it was being warped
Yeah.
in. If you focused on that, it would have canceled that period, right? So
Definitely.
lucky for him, it didn't really matter too much. I just thought you could have won right there and then. So Maligan was able to get the game
Yeah.
going further. But he was behind almost the whole time, right? The
Yeah,
link by screwed him up, and what else?
I felt like not Dark. Sir Maligan didn't really have a plan, and his only plan that was thwarted was that he would drop down about 8 gates, and then he sent a probe to go across the map to make a proxy pylon
Yeah.
to go his, and once that got found out and that proxy pylon never got up, and I think he didn't have a plan, and I think at that point he was so far behind he couldn't catch up anymore.
And it's a good point, because if you're gonna do that strategy, you can't rely on it losing that probe where everything is on that, right? You might as well make a prism. It's not gonna slow you down that much.
Yeah, and I was looking for the robo, but the robo hasn't even been started. It was right. That was his only play, and since that got blocked, I think his entire strategy and his entire game was already bleak at that point.
Yep.
All right. All right, game number 2. Let's see what kind of adjustments.
Yeah, game 2
Sir
is gonna
Maligan.
be on hardware, guys. So smaller map.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
All right, in the bottom left, down 0-1, the green Protoss. Yes.
Sir Maligan.
And his opponent on the top right corner, up 1-0, the orange Zerg.
Dark Menace.
All right, so let's see any adjustments here for Sir Maligan. But I think his opener. I think he had the charge slots planned, but he just didn't get his forward pylon up. And because of that, all of the investments he made for that strat, because that investment that he made there actually sets him back in his economy and his tech, right? He's not able to get his third right away. He's not able to get other tech options. And so he put a lot of his money on that 8-gate charge slot attack. And that 8-gate charge slot attack really hinged on the fact that you have a proxy pylon or a warp prism on the other side of the map, so that you can just keep warping in, right? A bunch of zealots and eventually overrun their Zerg or even set them back. But because he could not get that up, I think that entire strategy, it's like a Jenga where, Dark Menace just pulled the block in the very bottom and the whole thing collapsed, right? And so I think Sir Maligan needs to preempt that strategy by already having a pylon across the map. Because it was funny because there were well positioned. This is one of the good things about Dark Menace is he had good positioning on his overlords. He had good vision on the map, and so he saw that probe going out. So he probably glimpsed on the minimap and saw that green dot going across. And as soon as he saw that, you saw he grabbed the 6 lings and then looked for it. And he actually looked on the bottom middle, bottom right, eventually found it and killed it. And unfortunately, that's what Sir Maligan was relying on. But we'll see how he changes it up in game number 2. We're waiting for his tech choice here. Cyber is done. Warp Gaze in. He started an Adept. I think this is just for harassment. But let's see if he drops down a Stargate, Robo, or Twilight. Stargate. All right. So let's see if he actually goes full Sky Toss here, or maybe just a Void Ray or two to keep himself safe until he gets his third or fourth bases. But we'll see. Dark Menace's third, of course, is plopped down. I bet you that's about the 215, 220 mark again. But an Adept here just to wall. Sentry again. That Sentry is crucial for scouting for Protoss, so it's good to see Sarmalagan making that. But the thing about the Protoss, if you're gonna, you're not gonna do a big 2-base timing. You need to get your third up soon, right? But you need to be able to protect it. And so that's why you see a lot of Protosses make those double Adepts, and then make it in a way where you make your third, you can tuck those Adepts in the corner, and you'll be able to protect that third base from any Ling run bys. But it's a Phoenix first here for Sir Malagant. He's gonna get this Overlord, and so Dark Menace needs to start pulling or not spread out these Overlords in the bottom half of the map anymore. Let's see if Sir Malagant finds this one lone Overlord here on the bottom side. It's gonna be tough to find, but Sir Malagant is actually sending all the way. He actually only made one Phoenix. Wonder, I mean, Dark Menace might think this is a hallucination, but this is a real scout. So if you were gonna do this, I think I would have saved that gas you spent on the Sentry for other tech stuff, right? Since you're gonna send this this Phoenix anyway, and I think this is the lone Phoenix, and he's gonna be sending it. He's gonna sweep in again a little bit later. I probably would have saved that 100 gas and spent it somewhere else. But he is taking his third. He's got Void Ray production. He is getting a bank, so let's see if he drops down a second Stargate or starts upgrading air units or put down a fleet beacon. Well, you're still gonna need AoE, however, right? You can't rely totally on just Sky Toss, and there is a one Stargate fleet beacon here. Second one is on the way. But Hydra production's already started, and Dark Menace is already aware that that was not a fake Phoenix because he saw it earlier. So he knows that there is a Stargate, and he is gonna transition to Hydralisks. He needs to take his fourth though, because if Sir Malagant is making air units like this, you can take your fourth. There won't be a big army coming across the map. Now look at that micro here for Dark Menace. Tries to save that last Zergling. He does save two, but one falls. Alright, carrier production has started. There's the fourth for Dark Menace. I'd like to see Sir Malagant get that air upgrade because it's very important on the carriers. +1 on the carriers just scales up so well. And so you'd want to see him. He's getting a Robo and a Twilight. Yeah, I probably wouldn't take both of them right yet. I mean, you're gonna pick one. Either you get Psystorm or you want to get Disruptors or Colossus, because it's pretty expensive, gas-wise, to get both of those. And if you're doing air units, it is gas heavy. All right, so Dark Menace confirms that there's a fleet beacon. He did get the speed upgrade for these Overlords. But, so it gets the scout that he wanted. Does he know that, yeah, he knows that there is a third, so. Alright, so there's the Spire here for Dark Menace. Let's see, +1 for both attack on air and ground for Sir Malagant, and he's now taking his fourth. So this is where, as I was talking about in the pre-game here, when Protoss gets comfortable in four bases and just going ham on, or just full Sky Toss, right? This is where Dark Menace starts having trouble with these types of battles, these types of composition. Alright, so Sir Maligan opts to get both AoEs again, both the Templar Archives and the Robo Bay. And that is pretty expensive. But you know, hey, he's managing it well. He's right there in supply with the Zerg. For Zerg, he's taking his 5th, which is good. Let's see where we are there in upgrade. So upgrade wise, 1-1 for the ground units for the Zerg. 1+1 attack for Protoss has finished. Alright, so Protoss Zealots. Alright, so these Banelings are actually gonna try to see if he can get a lot of probes here on the 3rd base. Let's see if Sir Maligan is fast enough to react. Corruptors are in production. There are Void Rays, but how many Void Rays do we have here? There are only 2 Void Rays. Storm has started. Alright, the Banelings are waddling through. Does Sir Maligan notice this? He does not. He's gonna lose a ton of units here on the 3rd and a lot more probes on the 4th because he's not pulling the probes. Loses 20. Oh, that was painful. A lot of probes to be lost here. But, you know, he just goes back and makes 4 more. 4 more at a time. Dark Menace is leading in supply, but that's a lot of links, more Corruptors. Storm is more than halfway done. Do we have Templars on the field? We do not, so nothing is building up energy. There are 5 now being warped in, so I don't think it'll have enough by the time Storm is finished. And Dark Menace is already moving out. Alright, so Dark Menace, since the changelings, but the changelings were killed, so he backs off right away. Alright, so Storm is done. Do we have energy on these Templars? Yes, we do have. They have 4 Templars. They have energy. Dark Menace needs to be careful in these engagements because a Storm could, you know, one Storm can take care a lot of the health of these Corruptors. There's a run by the Lings. It's a good block here for Sir Maligan. That shield battery can hold long enough to be able to just, you know, he didn't need to recall there. So he recalled to the 3rd, not to the 4th. But Sir Maligan's just trying to play safe. He does have the AoE that he needs to prevent these Corruptors from jumping on him. There are a lot of... ooh, they picked off 1. Alright, so Vipers. This is the way to pull apart the Deathwall army of the Protoss by using Vipers. Let's see if Dark Menace is practiced in these types of situations and pulling off. Right, kind of just take your time. And the way to do this is you push your creep, you pull your you pull the Corruptors, the carriers, but you need spores into the middle of the map. You need some sort of anchor, and I don't think he has that. Sir Maligan is gonna move out. He does spread the units because of the move command there on the right side. Ton of links are running through the main base. Alright, this is gonna get a little bit chaotic here because there's gonna be battles in 2 fronts. Let's see who handles this better. The Zealots are gonna fare better here in the main base. Alright, here's the attack here by Sir Maligan. Storm is ready here. And so definitely Dark Menace is not choosing to engage. Let's see, here it is. The Corruptors are trying to flank from the left side. Storm once, twice. The second one misses, but heavily damages these Corruptors. He does do a parasitic bomb, but there's only 2 Void Rays here, so it's not really gonna matter as much. There's a feedback. I wish we'd have used it on the Storm. There it is. One Storm. The second one comes in. The third one, but he is missing. And I think Dark Menace is gonna wipe out this army. And I think that army wasn't that big to begin with. And I think you need to have Archons underneath that as Sir Maligan. He does produce more Void Rays. And that was a good handle there by the Dark Menace. But I don't know if Sir Maligan should have been out there with just that small army, right? Deep into Zerg territory. Okay, so he's got units all over the map. I think this is the time to F2 and bring everybody in. There they are. So he does F2. Prismatic alignment started. I think this will do well against these low hit corruptors. Corruptors are falling one at a time. And yeah, so I think Sir Maligan is gonna be okay here. Yeah, he's gonna be okay. He's actually taking his fifth. He has taken his fifth base, so he matches the Zerg in terms of bases. In terms of upgrades, though, 1-1 for, well, actually just one attack for ground and air. Sir Maligan and Dark Menace has better upgrades, but more Void Rays are in production. Yeah, you need some sort of AoE here. For, yeah, there it is. The Templars are been warped in as well, and he's gonna use it for Archons in the meantime. But he needs to warp in some more Templars for storm purposes. Right, so a few links break out here, but it's not gonna do much. There is a good combo of cannons and shield batteries here. And they're just they're just staring down each other here in the middle of the map. Yeah, but similarly here, I mean, if Dark Menace is gonna go in, he needs to go in. He can't just posture here like this. Alright, Parasitic Bomb on one of the Void Rays. Sir Maligan is not microwing the Void Rays out. There is a storm, hits a lot of the Lings. But I don't think that's enough. He should have targeted the Hydras with the storm. But here are more Zealots, and I think the Zealots here will help clean up. And who's winning here? Dark Menace is climbing up in supply though. So there's not enough units here for Sir Maligan. He does have a lot of money. But he's just, yeah, he can't warp in fast enough. Not like Dark Menace is, he has a ton of larva to work with there. Oh, that's the problem here. So there's one pylon there that's a little bit too far, and the warp in is so slow. Alright, look at that. So that one pylon on the left is not close enough, and that's why it's warping in way too slow, and he hasn't been able to reinforce. He finally warps in on the right side, which is the faster warp in point, but I think this is over because Dark Menace is just he's just gonna run him over here. I think that was the problem there. That's what I noticed earlier when he warped in a ton of Zealots. It came in a little slower than usual, and I think because of that he lost control in that middle. He lost control. It kind of snowballed here for Dark Menace, and I don't think this is gonna be good enough here for Sir Maligan. He doesn't have. He needs more Templars here. He needs Templars to blanket this army with Storm, but he does not have that. He's making more gateways, but I think it's a little too late here. The Archons are gonna do well against Lynx, but they're gonna fare terribly against the Hydras. Alright, so it's a good idea here to back up. I think the Archons can clean up a lot of these Lynx already, but the Hydras just reign supreme here, and you need Psystorm for that. And look at the Archons, like, I can't reach the Hydras. There's that one storm, but it's too late. Alright, so I think, yeah, it was that one. It was a back and forth moment, but the fact that Sir Maligan was warping on a pylon that was outside the range of that Nexus. Good job here for Dark Menace.
Dark Menace.
Our players here.
Well, that was actually
Good
pretty
games,
second
gentlemen.
Good game, good game.
Alright, so Sir Maligan. There's a few questions I want to ask, but let's start with game number 1. So you did charge, you dropped down 8 gates, and then you sent a probe to see if you can put a proxy pylon. Was that the strat?
Yep, I just forgot about the placement of the probe. I should have hid it somewhere. It was so
Ah.
open.
Yeah, because when you sent out the probe, he was able to see it, and then since he saw it, he sent those slings to hunt for him.
Yeah.
And as soon as he killed that probe, that strat just went down the drain, right? So what
Yep.
was the plan B behind it?
I don't know. That was all in. 2 base all in. 2 base. I didn't want to prolong the game because I'm pretty sure I can't match him macro.
Gotcha.
So
And then
yeah.
game number 2, did you know that that one pylon that you're warping in for in the fourth base was too far from the nexus, and it was warping in so slow, and that's why your
Yeah.
reinforcement was so slow.
I didn't realize it wasn't close to the nexus. I was like, what the heck?
Okay.
So that's why my reinforcement was just so slow there. It should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I
And
lost my main army. So
yeah,
that
and
was
I think
that
the
was it.
main army, that was less than half of your whole army, and it was still deep in enemy territory. You still
Yeah.
decided to push through.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Should have just held back, wait for a mothership.
Yeah,
But yeah, I got to
to get too eager.
yeah, too eager to finish the game, I guess.
Yeah, you're in a good
Uh,
spot. I think if you just kind of got patience there, set up your
Yeah.
bases defensively, you were in a great spot to get into the sky toss composition that
Yep.
is
Should have
possible.
waited for that sky toss composition, but yeah. I just felt like, you know what, let's just go. I have Storm, I got Colossus. But yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, KJ, do you have any questions?
Um, Let me start with, well, actually, no, just for Maligan. Not really understood where he was coming from. He was just a little bit off on this and that. So this is like a practice game for him until he gets to the playoffs. So
Gotcha. Congratulations, Dark Menace. Very convincing 2-0. Were you worried at any point in the game when you saw Stargate in the second game? What was going through your mind?
I mean, I wasn't particularly nervous until like the big fight, and then I kind of like had a bad execution, but I kind of just overwhelmed him in that. So, besides that, I don't think I was really nervous.
Do you have any words against any of your future opponents thinking about going Sky Toss on you again?
Well, it probably worked.
It won't work, right? Because you're gonna swat it down easily. All right, so that's to detract them from going that route. Game number 1, I think it was pretty much standard play for you. Um, did you see that probe leaving his base and you chased it down, or was just so lucky that you found it? Where he's trying to make that proxy pylon.
I thought leaving the base, so I just like looked at the trajectory it just was going, and then just sent things there.
Gotcha. Cool. KJ, questions?
So I noticed you always do some sort of Ling run by. It's a very good play. But your Roach Warren was actually pretty late for the situation in game 1, but luckily Maligan didn't have a prism or a proxy pylon. I think he would have run you over there. But other than that, it's good reads overall for you. So what do you think? Do you think you played well enough?
I don't know. I think I didn't play that well, but I kind of just like got lucky spotting his cheese or the Stargate and was able to adapt to that.
Alright. Well,
Cool.
good luck in the playoffs. Well, you have one more game, right?
Yeah, so he has one more game, and I think that last game will determine who's gonna win the first seed, right? Because he's tied with Instability. They're both 6-1. They both have one game left. They both win, Instability takes it. They both lose, Instability takes it. So the only way for Dark Menace to win the number 1 seed is for him to win and Instability to lose. Actually, if they both lose, it still depends on the tiebreaker. But Sir Malagit is now officially the 4th seed of the playoffs, right? You're gonna be facing the number 3 seed, whoever
Okay.
that is, and that's gonna happen right now, tentatively scheduled next Friday.
This coming Friday or
Yeah, this well, not this Friday, the following Friday,
the following Friday?
May
Okay.
May 6th.
All right.
Right, and you'll be facing the number 4 seed, which
Number 3
yeah,
seed.
number 3 seed. I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Since
Okay.
you are the 4th seed, and I think yeah, the playoff picture is getting clearer and clearer. So good games, gentlemen. I think I saw Sir Criminal getting on, so I think we
Yeah, I
might
saw
be
Hurt
ready for our
Time.
next game.
Yeah, I think Hurt Time's on though, so I think he's pretty ready.
All right, so let's see, Hurtin Time, and I haven't seen them do their vetoes though. So why don't we take a quick break so we can get these players ready? Either we're gonna come back either with Hurtin Time versus Dark Menace, or Stu Blue and Criminal, and we'll be
Right.
right back.
All right. Good games.
All right, come on. We can all agree. Anyways, I don't think there's actually a detection with this army, funnily enough, but it's about to catch the army of Hyper Turtle completely for free. Well, half the army was split off there, but Archaic, not quite sure of that. Oh my gosh, there's about to be a lot of big balls exploding all over the army of Hyper Turtle. They continue to go out, clean up a bunch of the Archons. There are still Archons at the front, and the Disruptors are completely spent. +2 upgrades, and the DTs with no detection, ravaging the army of the Archaic. 2 of the Disruptors have gone down, 2 others very low at this point. But there is detection here for the DTs now, so they do get cleaned up. This 4th base starting to take some major damage. Hyper Turtle continuing to warp in behind. Disruptors do get sniped. Excellent target fire out of the Stalkers of Hyper Turtle as he continues to push forward with his army. Dealing a lot of probe damage and continuing to warp in and fight, trying to target down the pylon, but unfortunately there's another pylon. Who could have predicted this? Does target the battery now, but I think that will allow the Archaic to clean up here. I think maybe just taking the 4th and then leaving would have been the best option there for Hyper Turtle, but unfortunately winds up trading his entire army and I think potentially his life for it. It's not going to matter too much if you do kill these. Okay. The Archaic does clear out 2 of the cannons. I like that move. Very cute. Feel free to screenshot. And now going to hit another cannon, some probes. I feel like you should maybe save the Disruptor Balls for the army, but they may be able to replenish in time, so it might not matter. That is so many Archons. That is 17 plus 3 Archons. Or no, I'm sorry, they're plus 2. They're almost plus 3. Uh-oh, here comes the balls! Balls! No! Oh my gosh. And just like that, you're down to 9 Archons. That's not very many. Or at least not as many as 17 was. I'm not sure who's winning this fight. I think it's the Archaic for sure, though. Hyper Turtle is coming in with Stalkers, but they're actually not great against Void Rays if the Void Rays overcharge. The Archons are protecting the front, but now the overcharged Void Rays are slaughtering everything. Yeah, fighting down that choke with 17 Archons was possibly the worst choke in this map to fight in with Archons. And there's a lot of chokes in this map. I mean, oh hey, he does manage to snipe one of the things, so that's nice. Oh, he doesn't have detection again, so he has to target down the mothership, which means a lot of shots will be able to go off. There's no more battery overcharge, but I think Hyper Turtle may be able to hold here. Oh, blink away! Oh, he blinked into the other disruptor ball. No! Ah! Okay. I think Hyper Turtle will be able to survive here with 51 workers remaining, which is a good amount of economy. As the Archaic is almost fully mined out in his 3rd base even at this point, which means he will only have 1 mining base to the 2 of Hyper Turtle. Has managed to clean up 2 more of the disruptors, and the Archaic is twin supply and kill your opponent. I guess you can kind of do the second one without doing the first one. Be down in supply and still kill your opponent. That's like a fun little thing that can happen. Anyways, the army is going into the only remaining mining base of the Archaic and targeting it down. Does decide, you know what, I guess I will kill your units first. Oh, an excellent last-second lift on the disruptor, and GG is called. So a long, long way from being able to help out, which means these tanks should be able to get a nasty position potentially. And he's going to slow push. Forget I said anything. Oh, he's going to very slow push it. Okay, Hyper Turtle's army is starting to move down now. If Rex moves in and Chumley sieges up, this is going to be a hard nut to crack of siege tanks. A nut of siege tanks, I think, is the technical term for a lot of tanks. Siege you! Oh no, siege the tanks. Okay, tanks are sieging. Massive biles on the Void Raised. Oh my gosh! Huge biles. Targets down the overcharged battery, and huge biles on the carriers! Oh my word! A massive attack out of Chumley and Rex here, annihilating the Protoss armies. I mean, that was just huge biles on those void-raising carriers. I'm talking about how Marines are good against carriers. What about Ravagers, baby? Channeling Dark here is Rex, maxed out, and this is exactly what Steph was talking about in that pregame interview. If you leave Rex alone, you better fear for your life, because things are about to go very poor for you. Goodness gracious, that was insanity there. Massive corrosive biles. Those are some of the nastiest corrosive biles on air I've seen. Definitely the nastiest I've seen in the FSL. Holy cannoli. Great play out of Rex there and Chumley. Good adaptation saying, what if we didn't let you get a big army, right? What if we just kind of went for it? And GG's called.
Alright, we'll hop off after that update. That highlight there, that pretty cool highlight. We're back on. So we have Seth here. Dark Menace is going to be playing in a minute. We also got Hurt in Time. Let's make sure Hurt in Time's back on.
Yeah, we'll bring him here. There he is. So let's bring him in. So joining us now, we have our next match. Code's match between Dark Menace and Hurt in Time. Next match, Code's match between Dark Menace.
Oh, we got
Time. Next match. Test.
Okay. I heard you twice for some reason. How you doing, Hurt in Time? Good seeing
I'm
you.
good. Like ditto.
Yeah, you had a little break. You went overseas, right?
Yeah. Just got back Saturday, so
Nice.
I'm just now getting back on schedule. Been jet lagged for a couple of days.
Might as well make it really hard for you, right? Because you're going up against the #1 seed Zerg here. I think
Yeah,
strongest,
yeah.
strongest against Terran matchup. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm just gonna play and hope for the best, but I don't have great expectations.
I think you got dropped from our videos. Let's bring you back in while you do that. But while he's doing that, Seth, let's talk about this matchup a little bit. And
Yeah,
Oh,
so I looked at it more. I think the scenario here is it's either Dark Menace or Instability for number one seed.
yeah,
If they both lose their games, their next game, they still will win out on based on map differences. Now it's just a matter of who had a better map difference. So every match counts here. You don't want to if you're gonna win this match, make sure it's 2-0 to give
Yeah.
yourself a better chance. But Neutrophil cannot catch up. So I think he's gonna be the third seed here. So it's really Dark Menace. If he wins here, and Instability loses on Friday or next week, then I think that's is it. Or next week, then I think that's is it. Or next week, then I think that's is it. Or next
yeah.
week,
Hold
then I
on,
think
we're
that's
here.
it.
I think Hurt in Time. Do you have the video on? Because it's repeating every time you're back on.
yeah, sorry. I was just checking to see if I was back on the video. I
Yeah,
had
you might
closed.
you might
tab.
need to mute it or deafen it yourself, the video itself.
Yeah,
So
it's odd how like your audio is coming not just from your mic but from your.
Yeah. Well, I closed it, so it should be
All
fine.
right, so
cool.
yeah, let's talk about this matchup because the vetoes have started, as you guys can see. It's not done yet.
Yeah, just waiting for Hurt in Time to make a map selection that we can start with.
Oh,
And
sorry, my bad.
yeah,
Let's
so
see.
so those are the vetoes, and now we just need to pick which map you want to play.
Okay. Wanna go?
There you go, guys. You can see it live.
There it is, Hardwire. Yeah, so Hurt in Time, how's your trip? Was it 3 weeks that you were out?
It was 12 days, so
12 days.
almost 2 weeks. Yeah.
Almost 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
that's
it was a lot of fun.
yeah. So I guess because the pandemic's been dying down, you're able to travel. Was that something that you've been meaning to do for a long time?
Well, I mean, it's always been a desire to attend an Indian wedding, and a friend of mine was getting married, so I took that as an opportunity to go out to India for the first time and participate in the wedding event. They have serious weddings over there, so it was like a 3.5 day affair, and
Oh, that is serious.
it was yeah, it was great to experience that culture and learn about it. It was awesome.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've heard Indian weddings. It's not just a 1 day affair, like or 1.5 day affair in a lot of the places, but yeah, it's a multi-day affair. So that's pretty cool. Have you been able to play StarCraft since then, or you're just trying to get back into it?
Yeah. Well, I played 3 games before this match, so
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
something.
yeah.
Nice.
So at least I got my fat fingering stuff out of the way. So
Oh
Alright.
yeah, that's right. Have you you played a Zerg last time. You saw how Frieden played, right? How your games went. There was a game there you played really well, and there's some where you just you kind of where you ran him over because he didn't neural parasite, so you kind of got lucky on that one too. But what do you think?
Yeah.
Have you learned something different, or you feel like you're just more in sync with what you want to do mechanically, or what do you think your advantage is this
yeah,
time?
I don't think I've improved mechanically because I just haven't been putting in the games. I think really just from watching the games, I'm just seeing some holes in my early game. So I'm just trying to focus on that. I think if I can get into the mid to late game, my chances are a heck of a lot better than the first 10 minutes. So sometimes I just get maimed and pretty early. So
Yeah, you had some really close series over the season, right? And some games where you had
you're breaking up, so I don't know if it's me and my connection or something else going on.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
KJ, we can't. Yeah, we have. I had a hard time hearing you as well. What
Okay,
was
so
that?
let me repeat what I was saying. over the season, you've had some really close series that you barely lost, right? But you did make some good wins here or there, you know. So I think this is your last series, right, Seth?
Yeah, this is his last match
All
of
right.
the
So
regular season.
will we see a nuke
Hope.
from you to go out for the season?
Go out with a bang.
Yes.
Well, you know, I'm just looking forward to next season already. So,
There
but
you go.
but
All right.
I'll see what I can do
See
today.
if you can give us a nuke or two, right? All right. That's really all I wanted to hear from him.
Cool. And we've already interviewed Dark Menace. He's really tight-lipped about everything. He's pretty much warmed up. But anything you can add to this game, Dark Menace, that you want to talk about?
Uh, not really. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. Good luck.
We'll talk to you guys. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys after the match. We'll see how it goes. All right, we're gonna mute
Alrighty.
and deafen our players here.
You know, we should have had
We're gonna get.
criminal join the games or
Yeah, he jumped on in a ranked 1v1. I think
yeah,
he's making
just
sure he doesn't lose this last game, but he's heavily favored.
yeah, he's like hugely favored. Anyway, let's hop onto this game. It's all you now.
We could have had criminal join the cast. But anyway, top right corner here on Hardwire. Back by Hiatus. Our teal Terran he is.
Hurting time.
And his opponent. Orange Zerg he is.
Dark Menace.
So, Dark Menace is favored here. Some would say even heavily favored. But I think if Hurtin Time plays his game, controls the map, I think he has a chance. The problem I have is the style that Hurtin Time plays, I think plays well into the way Dark Menace's style is in handling Terran. And the way Hurtin Time does it is, he sets up his economy, sets up his macro, makes a huge force, and tries to methodically march out and see what he can get done across the map. The way Dark Menace handles other Terrans is he lets them do that, and he's aware of their positioning, and then sets it up where he surrounds them in multiple angles. And that's how he destroys those armies. And that type of style that Hurtin Time does, I think plays well into what Dark Menace can do. And I think that's what's going to be happening here in these games. Unless Hurtin Time does something a little bit different than his usual style. He is going to be starting out with a Reaper expand here. But he's not going to wait for the Reaper to scout. He's going to go ahead and send an SCV. And this SCV, the purpose of this is to make sure that you don't die to just some early aggression, right? Some early one base, Roach Warren, and they're coming already at you. And so he needs just to make sure that the Zerg expands. Right? And here's Dark Menace expanding right at the 215 mark like we talked about in the last game. But the purpose of this SCV is to confirm that an expansion was indeed planted. And if it is, just check if there's a third. And I think it did that. Because if you go there and you do not see an expansion, you know that roaches are coming or ravagers. Or I don't even think Baneling bust, because Baneling with links you need another hatchery for. You need a larva for it. But the one base would be a Roach Warren, all in. And that's where you make a bunker already on the high ground and all that stuff. So that's a good check there by Hurtin Time. But knowing Dark Menace, he doesn't usually do that kind of all in. I might have seen him do it one time, but not very likely. I think he only does it if he needs to throw something off to his opponents that he knows he has a hard time beating, right? Like somebody like Neutrophil that he's not very confident, and so he throws that build in. But for other opponents that he feels confident in, like Hurt in Time, he won't do these kind of strategies. He will just play standard. But I don't blame Hurt in Time for checking. I don't blame him to sending that first initial SCV, just to make sure. The Reaper though did stay behind because he saw that there were links on the map, and that's a good micro there by Hurt in Time, avoiding being surrounded by the links just long enough for the Hellions to come out. And the two Hellions did come out, shoos away those early Zerglings. Dark Menace throws down his second and third gases. He saw Hellions, and I think he knows the timing and the timer that he has to be able to prepare for a bunch of Hellions coming in. And in this case, it's going to be Hellions, and there's an armory, so he might be able to turn this into a Hellbat. Well, these Hellbats. There is a tank on the way, though, so this is not just a Hellbat all-in. The Rungbais are going to be coming. Here are the Hellions. He was going to dive in on the third, but there are no drones there to really take care of, so he runs back. Instead, the Lings are wreaking havoc on the main and the natural. Hurt in Time's trying to figure out where to send these Hellions. He loses 9 right off the bat. Oh, that was painful. And so the thing is, if you are doing this Hellion, oh no, the links are still there. You need to close off or do a wall there in the low ground, right? And then just put your rally. Yeah, that tank is doing a lot of work. But put your rally right on front, for your Hellions, so that you would be able to be in position for these run-bys. He almost gets the queen, but does not. Does clean up the links though, but the problem here is there are roaches, and the roaches can take on, 1 or 2 roaches can take on all of those Hellions. Because the Hellions do not do bonus damage against roaches, and the roaches can tank for them with their high HP. Alright, I like this, that Hurt in Time's gonna be repairing these heavily damaged Hellions. Ooh, I like this by Hurt in Time. He's gonna be transitioning to battle cruisers. And funny thing is though, Dark Menace already has the Spire going, so he's even ahead in that air race. There is no third CC here for Hurt in Time. Oh, actually, is there? Can we go down there? Actually, yeah, my mistake. There is a third CC. So he can produce 3 SCVs at a time, because I only see 2 producing at a time, so that's why I was wondering if there were a third one. But there is a third one. Banshee is on the way. I think that's just to make sure if there are roaches. He started it. Some people cancel that Banshee as soon as the fusion core is done. I don't know if Hurt in Time will do that. There's a fall. Finally, he makes a wall down low ground. He could have had that a little bit earlier. You could have made your second factory down there and then make your third CC to complete the wall. But it's important to have a wall against a Zerg that has links because of these run-bys. And I think earlier he suffered with that run-by, and it kind of set him back because he lost a lot of SCVs there. But Yamato Cannon is being researched. No BCs in production yet. He does have the money. Takes 400, 300 for BCs. But opts to make a 4 instead. So this is gonna be mech here for Hurt in Time. And I like him going mech. I think it'll be better for him going mech against Dark Menace than if he went... Ooh, there's a run by here. He opened both walls, but the tank shell at these links actually does a good job defending. And so those links did not do any damage at all. Just actually pulls the army back for Hurt in Time, but I don't think our Hurt in Time was planning to go out anyway. There's only 1 in production. And look at that, he's getting Blue Flame. And the funny thing last week is we had a bunch of Terran versus Terran. a lot of mech plays, but none of them researched Blue Flame. It's funny. Here, Hurt in Time gets the Blue Flame, gets some mech upgrades. The turrets are late, but there are Thors already. So, and I think, oh yeah, so there's one turret already in the main. I'd like for him to get maybe one medevac to ferry these Thors around. But here the mutas are coming in. It's gonna be targeting these tanks. Here's the Banshee thinking that it can kill it with its hyper flight rotors, but that's not gonna be the case. Alright, look at these. The mutas pretty much reset the tank count. I don't think he lost a muta. But the BCs do teleport on the other side. It's gonna take out one of these. The Queen and the transforms to a Hellbat. The Hellbat throws all of these flings. The drones have been evacuated, but not until 9 have fallen. And the BC is still wreaking havoc, but look at Dark Menace's supply. He's already at 178. 7 Corruptors are on the way. And this BC is actually can't fare well against these mutas. It's gonna take out one muta. There's a micro here for Dark Menace. But one muta falls, but I think that one is gonna but the main base of Hurt in Time is actually gonna get ravaged here because the mutas have already done their job. They cleared out all of the tanks, and because of the lack of tanks, these roaches reign supreme. And with that, a very quick GG and that counter attack by Dark Menace is now up 1-0. So we can dissect that more, but let's set up our next game real quick. We can invite our players. This next game is gonna be in our standard map 2000 atmospheres. And let's invite her time. We can jump right into our next game. So yeah, I think Hurt in Time had a good plan and a good strategy. I think he just got blindsided by the mutas, and because the mutas came in undetected and he was kind of not prepared for it, the mutas killed I think 3 or 4 tanks, and those tanks were those were very important to defend against these roach floods. And as soon as Dark Menace kills the tanks, he just held the R key, made a ton of roaches, and there's no way you can stop that without tanks at that point. But good play there for Hurt in Time. It was a good plan,
You are
but
watching
better execution
FSL
there for Dark Menace.
Season
Alright, game number
5.
2. Top right corner, up 1-0. Orange third, he is.
Dark Menace.
And bottom left corner, Teal Terran.
Hurt in Time.
Alright, let's see if it's gonna be standard once again. What could Hurt in Time have done differently? Well, number one, that Ling run by in the beginning set him back, and I think that kind of delayed his him teching up to where he really wanted to be in time. Number one. Number two, yeah, it was really the mutas that did him in, and then the tech switch to roaches right away, because as soon as he identified there are no more tanks on the map, he just flooded in with a ton of roaches, and I think that's what basically got that victory for Dark Menace. He didn't even need the Corruptors. He didn't need to do anything else. He could just overwhelm him with a bunch of roaches there. Alright, so standard opening here for both. Gas before the... I think gas and the pool set at the same time. It wasn't late this time, not like that last game. But let's see what Hurt in Time does. He does another scout. Checks for the expansion. Sees it. It's like, alright. There are no cheese here, but let me make sure he doesn't make a Roach Warren. But, you know, at this point, when you scout, if you see that hatchery there already that much, you would, the the pool is not going to be far behind it, and then without the pool, you really can't do anything else yet as a Zerg. But look at that third her hatchery is gonna be coming in before 2:15. So this is one of the earliest one I've seen Dark Menace take this hatchery. Just waiting for the minerals. And I think actually it's gonna be the same timing because he didn't have the minerals yet anyway. So there it is, 2:15. So Reaper expand again, quick factory for Hurtin time. This time though, I want him to be more cognizant on the low ground wall. If he is gonna make Hellions, make sure he doesn't get get those Ling run bys. The Reaper confirms a third has been planted. I think he can take these Lings because if you see a hatch first and then they get to speed links, you won't see the speed done until like closer to 3:34 minutes, right? And so if you look at your clock, I'm like, oh, it's only 3 minutes. I have plenty of time, right? Once it gets closer to between 3:30 and 4 minutes, that's when you start running back. Otherwise, if you see these links, you can kite them to death. The links can't do anything. All right, so there it is. He's gonna put down a wall down low, and it's a good move here for Hurtin time. There are the 4 links, but the Reaper is there, and he can micro this. Yeah, they don't have speed, right? So if you look, it's only 3:30. I can kite these guys very easily. Oh, but he does not micro the Reaper. Reaper falls. He took a long time to produce the Hellions, and these Lings are just wrecked. Oh my goodness, these 4 Lings been their weight in gold. The problem is these mules can't fight. They don't have an attack. Oh. And so I think, Hurtin time's not having a good time here. He's just having a Hurtin time. He loses the Ling. I mean, he loses the Reaper. He loses all of the SCVs in the expansion. He loses the mules and didn't get its full value. So this was just like the last game, where just a simple run by really, slowing down Hurtin time significantly here. And so because of that, Dark Menace is like, alright, put out my Roach Warren. I'll just drone up, make a few links, but I'll drone up, get my lair, spread creep, take my time, I'm way ahead. So, double scan too here for Hurtin time. I think he could have done without the second scan and the natural since you had the Hellion there. But he sacrifices it, and Dark Menace is gonna take his 4th. And I think this is gonna be one of those versions of Zerg Swarm here. What we're probably gonna see here is Dark Menace is gonna hit his excuse me 70-80 worker count, and as soon as he gets that, he's just gonna amass a ton of units, probably maxed out, and then he's just gonna overrun the Terran. But let's see if he does that, right? Hurtin time in the meantime does have his 3rd, so that's a good thing. Starting tank production. He is gonna go mech again. Yeah, there's a 3rd factory. So yeah, Dark Menace just droning up, puts down the Hydra Den. Yeah, Dark Menace knows that there's no pressure. It's going to be coming on his side for a long time, so he's just free to drone up. I'd even say that he should just go ahead and take 2 more bases, the top side of the map. But instead spends his money on upgrades, which is a good thing. And starts making roaches. Now, he stopped at 59 workers. I would have liked for him to just go all the way up to your ideal 80 drone count. But instead, he's just gonna making a lot of roaches. I don't know if that's a good idea if they're gonna be tanks on the map. Let's see if he makes any of these into Ravagers. But maybe he's just trying to, making sure he doesn't die to any cheese, or so he'll be safe. There are Ravagers being converted. But yeah, there are more drones. But again, he's just kind of walking the middle ground here, right? Make a few drones, make units. Make a few drones, make units. Curtain Time, in the meantime, is preparing to land his third. He's trying to spread out his tanks, and so he can take that third safely. And this is, we're talking about Curtain Time. He's very methodical, and this is his play, right? This is his style. He just does it. Make sure he's okay. And earlier when he overextended and there's that run by, I think that's what got him in trouble. But problem here is this early game really set him back. The mere 4 lings, right, did a lot of damage for just those 4 lings, and that's being reflected here. Look at the supply count. It's 160 to 158, 159 to just 95, right? Now, if Hurtin Time can secure this third, he probably needs a little bit more factory though. Probably drop down another 1 or 2 more since he has his third up. But if he can get his setup going, and as a mech player, and you get about 160 supply and above, and just make sure you're covered with turrets in your bases for any of these mute attacks, which we know it's not coming. I think he's gonna fare better in this game. Alright, so Dark Menace has reached his 82 supply mark. Now it's just gonna be units. He's making 4 more Overlords, even though he only really needs 1 more to round out that 200 supply. But he's gonna make 4 more. He's gonna get another hatchery. He's gonna just start producing units here. And let's see if Hurtin Time can withstand the onslaught here, right? He's gonna need to brace for impact. He's gonna take his 4th. Yeah, he is gonna take his 4th. Zerg is now on your front doorsteps with its creep. There are tanks all over though. Let's see. Oh, these are Hellbats. Yeah, those lings are gonna be forfeit real quick. But there are so many Roach Ravager here. It jumps right on top of the... Oh no, he unsieged the tanks! He unsieged the tanks! Oh, those could have been 3-4 more volleys. But instead, they got picked off right before they even did their first volley, and I think because of that, he's just gonna get run over here. If he had those tanks still sieged up, I think he would have been okay. Although, yeah, he might have been okay for the next 10 seconds, but with more, more reinforcements coming here, and I think this is gonna be it. We see a bunch of SCVs trying to kill 1 Roach, eventually does, but there's the GG. Woo! Yeah, I'm just falling out so far behind on the horizon. I wasn't getting fast anymore, so that would do it. Dark Menace takes it 2-0, ends the season for both of them. Regular season, I mean. And good games, gentlemen. Let's start with Hurtin Time. So Hurtin Time, I think you were doing fine. You had a good strategy. You were going mech. But both times, you got ravaged by these just early lings. So what was going on there?
Well, the first time for sure. Every time I went out, he would come in. So the second game, I decided not to go out at all. But he just macroed like crazy. And at one point, I screwed up. I unsieged my tanks. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to make my Hellions into Hellbats, and instead I unsieged all my tanks. But he still had too much. I don't think I could have stopped it.
I think you would have been, it would have helped you in the next 20 seconds, right? Because I think you would have probably cleared out maybe the Roach Ravager perhaps. But yeah, there were more coming. But I think that was more so the first part of the game where you had Reaper and you didn't start the Hellions yet. And the initial 4 lings did so much damage that set you back.
Yeah.
I think that was what one of the key in that second game, right?
Yeah. That's my Achilles heel, man. Something early always happens, and I'm just not dealing with it well. I didn't start building the Hellions. I thought I did, and
No,
then
you were supply blocked because you were trying to make a depot, and if you didn't, you might have been making too many SCVs, so you couldn't make Hellions. So they were kind of stuck there for a while or something.
uh, okay,
We'll
so
have
that's
to watch
what it
the
was.
replay. I think I saw you were supply blocked because you didn't, unless you didn't actually just make them.
Yeah, but I think the one Reaper probably I should have
Was
been
enough.
able to
Yeah,
just
was
clean that
enough.
up.
Hmm.
But I think you just mismicroed it and it died, and
Yeah.
that was it, right? But yeah, unfortunately that was the case because that set you back. But I did like your, your 3 CC build. You're going into mech, um, and I think if you weren't, you didn't start off the blocks already behind, I think you would have been okay.
Yep.
The first game though, I think you were still okay. It was only because the mutas came in. I think that surprised you. And because of the mutas, it cleared out all your tanks to pave way for the roaches, right?
Yeah, I saw. Well, I saw him building the spire, and I was just starting to get Thors. I had turrets. I had 2 turrets at every base. But it was just the case again where I just misread where his troops were. I think I need to do a little bit better about seeing where his troops are before moving out, because he attacked me when I had sent all my Hellions down, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, just
Yeah. I guess it's just maybe just get back into it and just really knowing when when he might attack you. Or that's really tough, right? As a Terran, because I know whenever I play Terran, it's such a dark place, and that's why you put a little additional sensor towers. But even then, sometimes you just get blindsided by those things. But good games. KJ, do you have any questions here for Hurt in Time?
Well, now that the off season is upon you, you know what you need to work on.
yes.
Do you have a game plan for improvement for next season? You do have a library of VODs of all the games and the styles, right?
Yeah. No, I need to grind. I need to grind games, and I just haven't really done that for a little while, and yeah.
All right.
All right, good games and congratulations, Dark Menace. That was a 4-0 evening for you. And I guess it's just a matter of sit back and wait whether you get the number 1 seed or not. So what do you think? How would you grade your games tonight and both games?
I don't know. I think I played pretty mediocre. I think I just kind of just distracted them so I could macro up, and then I just like took the win after that.
Okay,
So he didn't play bad like the first series. He played mediocre. So he improved. That's what he's saying.
improved. All right. Well, then the question
They all
is,
have
are you
high
ready?
standards.
Are you ready for the playoffs, Dark Menace?
I mean, I guess.
So the scenario here is if you get the number 1 seed, you'll be in good position. If not, then you will be waiting for the winner of Neutrophil and Sir Malagant. Which one do you prefer? I know you wanted to place Neutrophil sooner than later. Which side of the bracket would you prefer to be in?
I want to be first place position so I could get like hopefully play Neutrophil in the finals again.
Gotcha. Well, you're gonna have to go and help out PLS Mizel and help him prepare for his game. So maybe he'll do better and take that victory off instability, and you get the number 1 seed. But we'll see how that goes. KJ, any final thoughts and words here or questions for Darkness?
I did see you make an attempt with the Vipers, but I think your main thing is you gotta prepare for Sky Toss. Do you agree? That's the really the big one for you.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I was kind of preparing for a Hydra timing, but my build just got thrown off, and then he meant Sky Toss, so I didn't want to bother with it.
All right, that's all I had.
All right. Well, good games, gentlemen. Hurt in Time, we'll see you next season. Dark Menace, we'll see you in the playoffs. And We'll move on to our next and last game for tonight. Code A. It looks like they've done their vetoes. And we can actually talk to them now.
Yeah,
can
we can do
swap.
that. While you load them in, I just want to say thank you to the Patreons that we do have. It's Cyan and Hyper Turtle, and of course Rogue Ranch. Thanks for the continued support there.
Yep, thank you to our Patreons. The players are gonna be happy because they get their bump up on their prize pool. How much? I guess we'll figure that out. KJ will tell us. But thanks again to our Patreon supporters. Let's bring in our next game here, players. Joining us now, we have our players for Code A, the penultimate match of Code A, second to last match here. Stu Blue and Criminal. Let's start with Stu Blue. Stu Blue, you've improved tremendously throughout the season. You have 2 victories under your belt. You're actually, you were in there in the playoff hunt until the very end. You did such a good job. What do you think are your chances here against the number 1 seed? A really tough Terran here, Criminal.
I don't think I can really win, to be honest. I think maybe I could just try, but I don't think I'll win.
All right. Have you prepared any specific strats, or you're just going to wing it or just do your standard stuff? You don't have to divulge anything, by the way.
Well, I've been playing a lot more than I have the past few FSL games, so I think I'm the most prepared for this one.
Nice. Did you get any help from Cyan? Some special builds, anti-Terran, or no?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've also watched some videos on stuff to do.
You're the most improved, that's for sure.
Nice. Yeah, if we're the most improved player of the year, I think hands down, Stu Blue would get that award.
Yeah.
Now, but you're facing off against Criminal. Talk to Criminal here. Criminal, you looked flawless this season. I know you've been out of the game for a while before FSL Season 5, but now you're kind of getting back into form. What do you think? How do you like your form, or is this your ceiling, or do you have a long way to go?
Okay. Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
So, I don't know. I'm not really confident with my TVP. Playing on the ladder, always, I always lose in the late game. So, hopefully, it doesn't go to the late game.
Okay. But, I mean, I don't know where you are now in terms of your MMR, but I think you've done very well against Code A. Have you watched your opponents or Stu Blue, or you're just gonna play standard against Protoss?
I think it's more exciting if I don't watch anything and just look what's gonna happen. So, yeah, and I haven't seen any games of Stu Blue.
Read and react. KJ, questions?
Well, I'm gonna spoil it for you, but you have a 700 MMR difference because you've shot up with all your practice over the season. So that's a huge difference. However, you don't know his strategies, and Protoss is tricky. So maybe we'll get an interesting game. You are on set to be promoted next season to the next league. So this is your last hurrah at this league. But if you win this, when you do go to the playoffs, you will start to go up and face everybody anyway. So how are you gonna prepare for? I know you prepared for Stu Blue, but how do you prepare yourself for the big playoff push?
I think in Diamond League and up, I have a problem with Zerg. So yeah, I need to practice a lot. Obviously, right now I'm just playing maybe 2-3 times a week, and I need to practice more.
Got it. Yeah, we all have a problem with Zerg right now. I played Terran this season, so that might be my weakest matchup. So.
All right. Well, let's get this going.
Yep.
We'll start the match. We'll invite Criminal here in the lobby, and we can get started while I mute and deafen our players. Good luck. Have fun, gentlemen. Talk to you guys after the match.
Okay. Have fun.
Have fun.
All right. At least I won't be casting solo this time.
Yeah, and
KJ
actually his
is
camera is working this time.
I know. I
season.
think he's finally got his set up and everything. He's got his
Yeah,
headset
finally has
on
something
and
that-
everything. He's not using his phone.
Yeah, it's much better
But
system now, so we get to see him. We get to see how he plays. Like I said, he's 700 MMR favored on top of
yeah,
Stu Blue. That's
he
a
is.
gigantic thing.
So, but the thing is, if you look at the playoffs, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit once we get started here. But we can play our FSL intro.
Yep.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
In the bottom right, the heavily favored Terran. He's headed to the playoffs.
Criminal.
And on the top left corner, the most improved players, at least I would say so, the Red Protoss.
Stu Blue.
Yeah, he's most improved. He was like last year's Deepu, who actually did really
Yeah.
well in the playoffs. But this time he beat Deepu in his last match. So
Yeah. So the thing is about, Criminal's headed to the playoffs, and he's going to be joined there right now with two confirmed players, The Archaic and Little Reaper. And the thing is, both those players, The Archaic and Little Reaper, took a map off of Criminal in both their games, right?
yeah,
And even had a chance in the third game to
Yep.
win those, right? So, Criminal might be breezing through this regular season. If you look at his record,
oh
it's 6
my
and 0.
goodness. Oh,
Is he gonna catch
he
it?
just sees it. Yep. Criminal
He
will look
sees
there
it.
later and see it. Perhaps What up?
Yeah, and so the playoffs is gonna be where it's gonna be exciting because those three players are gonna be facing off each other, and they do have a shot at dethroning Criminal here.
Yep.
If you look at it, Criminal is
Oh
0
my gosh,
losses.
he's pulling. He's gonna pull. He saw it and he's gonna pull. He thinks this is one of those, just pure proxy thing. But this is more of a max specs build if you think about it. Where
I don't know about this pull though, because look at
Yeah, I
his.
don't
If you
agree
look at his
with it.
main, yeah, look at his main.
This is good for him. This is really good for Criminal. I mean, for Stu Blue actually, because he canceled it in time. And look at how many workers are not mining.
Yeah. So he doesn't have a gateway, here, right? But he does have at home.
Yeah,
But he supply blocked. No.
He is. He forgot, but that's okay. Look, he only lost really a pylon, got a little bit supply, but look how many workers this is that were not mining.
Yeah, but he's gonna need to
He needs to
You know,
expand up. He needs
take
there you
take
go.
advantage here. There you go. Okay. Alright, so it's about the same time as Criminals, which is good. And I'd wish we could put down a tech building here pretty soon.
Yeah,
Because he's had his cyber done for a while.
he did. And honestly, I don't. This is not too bad for Stu Blue. It's almost even. It was. I think he was ahead for a little bit, but look how fast Criminal gets his second command center, gets his 3 racks going. So Stu Blue needs to not get supply blocked. Not really. I think that's what really.
Yeah.
He could have had a big lead by now if he wasn't supply blocked.
Yeah. I've seen Stu Blue's some of his games where he got to max supply rather quickly, right?
Yeah, he's got.
And you saw that he was continually making workers. His macro was on point, and he just continually making units. And I think if he does that here,
I love this. Actually, I love the way Stu Blue's playing. He is playing the best, at least for builds that I've seen. I know he got supply block, but this is really good set. If he can get a charge slot build here and get a prism on the other
Yeah.
side. Look, Terran hasn't even landed his base yet. So he has time. Terran is scared right now. Look at him, he's making a
Yeah.
turret.
yeah, he is there. Yeah, so I think
Oh,
if
yeah,
Stu
beautiful.
Blue just macros up, makes a ton of units, because the only way that he would lose, one of the ways that he would lose against Criminal is really based on engagements, because Criminal has a lot of experience against,
Yeah.
his playing, and so his engagements would be a little bit better. But if you eliminate that by just overwhelming your opponents with so many units, then I think that's the way Stu Blue can take a game or two here.
Yep, and he's starting here with charge, which I love against this. And then he's gonna get Templar Archive. So if he gets Storm Chronos that out, look, Chronos is just now down, setting his base down here. I'd like for a Prism, but I don't think he has the money really. So yeah, he's getting Storm, much more important. Here's the big push. Oh, you know what he's missing? He's doing what his dad, you know, made a mistake and does not have a shield battery. He says if this ball
let's
of
see.
Marines here.
I don't think the criminal's gonna go across the map anytime soon. I think he
look
is.
at that. Yeah,
He's just looking around.
Well, I don't know. Now he looks like he might be. There's some shield batteries. Okay, so this is good. He just needs to keep warping in units, and he needs to get that Templar there too, so he can get energy. He's kind of like blocked these guys back. Okay, well I think that's enough now. Charge is done. So
Yeah. But these, do they have stim? I don't think. Oh, they do have stim. No, it's blocked.
what? Oh my goodness! This would
No.
have been a total massacre actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it still
Well,
is.
it's still gonna be. But he didn't have to lose that one stalker.
Yeah, he lost one Stalker and one Zealot.
So Stu Blue needs to look into getting his third now. I mean, I don't think he's gonna go all in here from here.
Yeah,
But gets his third macro up.
and he forgot to warp in Templars this whole time. So there's none, and he still has to get energy. So that's a big deal. He needs to get the Templar. 'Cause he got that research done already. He's going Colossus. He needs that Templar.
Yeah.
This whole time it goes by.
Yeah, he needs a Templar. He already has a Storm. I wish he would just warp in Templars here.
Exactly.
But at least he's taking his third now.
He has a plenty
And
of gas.
yeah, he has a healthy
he
worker
forgot
count.
About it. Look, he keeps making charge blocks. He just forgot about the Templars.
He does have, yeah. Oh, there it is. 3 Templars on the way.
Okay, there you go.
And
Better than never, I guess. But it's super
yeah, look at Criminal. So defensive.
Yeah, he's scared. He
Which,
saw a lot of charge
you
blocks,
know,
which
this is where you can take advantage of them thinking that the only way you could win is by cheesing him.
yeah,
And so
yeah, and he has the robotics bay done, so he should be making a Colossus by now. He's a little late there too, but at least he has the Templars.
yeah, and he's making more. That's good. He's getting a second forge. He's gonna get the upgrade on that real quick.
I would think so.
He
'cause
does
made two,
not
but-
use it yet.
Yeah, I think he. Oh no! Did he just convert one of his? Please tell
Well,
me.
no,
didn't
he
convert
warped.
them.
Yeah, he just warped in a pair of Templars to convert. So I don't think he used the one that was high in energy, or at least I hope he did not.
Okay.
All right, so third is done. So is the third for Criminal being landed as well. Colossus is on the way. You know what? Just keep
Okay,
making
it's
units.
Looking good. You know, Stu Blue is looking good here right now, guys.
But
He can pull this
yeah,
off.
let's see. Let's see if he waits until he's maxed out before he even tries to move out. Scan here, tries to see a third, but he looked at the wrong place.
Ooh, here's gonna be a drop. All right.
This is
so-
where, let's see how he's taxed here in the APM.
Yeah.
Right, how he handles this.
So the drop. Here's the thing. I think Criminal should attack up front and then drop in the back. Let's see. Let's see what he does.
Yeah,
here.
which I think he usually does that. Let's see if he does it here. He's not posturing though, so
Not yet. Yeah, not yet. But
he's probably waiting. There it is. Some more medevacs. I think he's gonna move out here with this next group. And let's see how Stu Blue handles this.
oh, here's the drop. He's kind of in the middle of nowhere, which is right in the worst place while you're still in your compound. Right. This is the
Yeah, and then
furthest.
the
Yeah.
main group is actually attacking in the front. Let's see. This is what we wanted to see. Stu Blue, how he handles these kind of situations. There is a battery and a cannon combo here. He pulls all the units to deal with this, and the main
front.
army is coming in.
The main army is
it's
not coming in. Okay, actually, Criminal's making a mistake too. He could have cleaned up the bottom by now.
Yeah. And Stu Blue runs back in the front to make sure he covers there as well. And This was a mistake by Criminal, but look, Stu Blue's up by what? 20 supply.
Yeah, I think. I don't know why Criminal didn't move. He usually does. Maybe he just did not feel confident.
Or maybe he
Oh,
didn't
there's
know the
another
bird
drop.
was there.
Complete.
Yeah, but there's a cannon
You know, he
there,
lost
so I.
his Templar Archives, by the way, so there's no more
Oh.
Storm. And he's almost losing this robotics facility. Oh, and this is good by Stupu focusing on the medevac. Beautiful play.
Nice, beautiful.
That is not a newbie move right there. He knows what he's doing now. Looking good for Stu. I think he forgot that he did lose.
All right.
Oh no!
Oh no!
He missed.
No! All right.
Lost two
The-
for free.
The
Those
main
are his-
army went the wrong way.
Yeah, he has. I think he still has enough here to crush, but he's going at it one at a time.
Oh,
Storm,
nice
though.
storm there.
Good storm, but oh
But he
man.
still has an army to dislodge that third base here. I think if he goes there now, he can take
He
care of it.
does. Yeah, he does.
But-
Criminal knows that there's problems for him, so he's gonna try to draw back the Protoss by doing a drop at home.
Yeah, so all he has to do is just warp in at home, keep that main army going forward. Do not
That's
F2 back home.
Oh, he's going back. There he
No,
is.
he's going
oh,
back.
No.
Yeah, so
I think he
you
would have
know,
won if he just kind of went here. He went
this
home.
is the yeah. Yeah,
Inexperienced.
actually, stalkers are not the way to go here. But
Well,
I
it's
guess
okay
since your
if you
main
can
army
get
is
a
back,
medevac. There you go. All right, there's no more drops for a while, Seth, because no more medevacs. So, in fact, Criminal got scared of all those Colossus that he killed. That he made Vikings, so there's no Colossus. So here's the big fight. I think Stu Blue can win it right here if he has a monumental fight here. He needs it. Oh, there's
yeah. But he's. Let's see. Is he gonna run back? He should run back right
he
now.
Should run back. This is actually when you run back.
There is Storm. Is he gonna use it?
He has it. He just hasn't used it. And he's clogged up. You know, his engagements have been pretty. You know, like, it hasn't been really
But-
good, as you saw, right? Like the way he went
Yeah.
in, he lost his Colossus.
But
His
like what I was
army's so
saying
powerful.
earlier, but like I said earlier, the engagement wise, Criminal would win out. But if Stu Blue just amasses enough army here, I think he can just win it. Which engagement doesn't matter, right?
Yep.
Like that. And then warp in a few more zealots here, and I think you could clean this up. But instead, he's gonna send the entire army around once again. He is just being ping ponged back and forth. But you know what? It's okay, right? He's still ahead in supply. One more.
He
Does he have
is,
blink?
he is.
I don't even think he has blink.
Nope. But he has a great chance to still win just by F2ing
Yeah.
to the Terran right now. Actually, this little minuscule army left over in the drop is not enough. And he should
Yeah,
not F2
but-
back.
Yeah, he needs
Oh,
to.
but he's going by one at a
enter.
time.
No, he's
Going
in a
one
single
at a
file.
time. Oh man, he's really like taking the fights as worse as possible, and yet he's still.
Oh my gosh,
kinda winning.
Storm! Storm! There it is!
You know what I mean? He's taking it like as bad as possible, but he's still winning because his.
He's still
army is
winning,
so
but he needs to
strong.
do one more set of warpins and send them down right now. There they are. The zealots
Oh,
are
this is
making
good.
their way down.
Oh, and he wasted it on the SCVs, the storm, but hey,
Yeah, but-
he killed a lot of SCVs, 18 to be exact. 20, 23. What is killing at the other side? Why did he lose so many? But you know, look at this. He has no army until that last warp-in. So he might actually die on this push. He has no army. He has no Colossi, no storm.
Yeah.
He just has.
He stopped.
Yeah, he did
Yeah, he
big
stopped
stuff.
producing. There it is. There's the Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he had this game easily. He could just watch this game and see what he did wrong, and that was really
Yeah.
sending units one at a time to die. And then imagine if he had those two Colossi. He like gave them away for free. So Cyan is watching this, and I'm sure he'll give him some tips. But he easily had this game.
Yeah, there's so many ways he could have won it, and one way for him to lose it, which exactly what happened there, right?
Well, yeah, he kept doing the bad engagement every single time, really. So
Alright, so, overcharge here will probably save you. There it is.
yeah.
Colossus is coming to help.
He has 16 supply of army, so if he couldn't win with an overwhelming army, right? With 3 bases, full saturation.
But you know, he still has. He still has Yeah, because he still has money here. No,
he better
yeah, you don't want to throw these zealots though. You get just F2 to come back in.
Yeah. He's
he
throwing
lost it all.
units, so he needs to get relaxed. There you go. And if he's making another, yeah, he's only look. His attention is now that he has the attention, he warps in, and then there's the Colossus. So this is probably what he knows to improve on for the next season, which is multitasking, right? Making sure you're warping in while you're doing other things. He's gonna make 2 starports.
Well, you don't have money for that. The best thing to warp in right now is a Templar Archives because you have surplus of gas.
Yeah, he forgot that he lost his Templar Archives, so I'm sure he'll get some good coaching from that after this. But he's played a heck of a game. He's just given it away with just bad engagements. You know, this is the next level of players, so you can't just throw your army away.
So he's taking his third. He dodges the scan here by taking the 8 o'clock third.
Yeah.
But I think if he has enough Colossus here, I think he's safe. But he stopped making Colossus.
There's the Templar Archives. He stopped making Colossus. He has 2, but he needs to keep making them non-stop. There's only 2 Vikings here. So here's the big... Oh, Criminal's bringing SCVs, which is funny. Here you go. I don't like this fight for Criminal at this point.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Especially if there's an overcharge.
Yeah, but look at all the Marines just melt.
Where's the overcharge?
I don't think he...
He does. He had it. He just didn't use it.
Oh, he didn't use it.
Oh, man. He would have won that fight with an overcharge. So there you go. You can see he's done like maybe 8 to 10 things wrong, and he still had a chance to win, right? So
But if he just does that one of them correctly, I think he would have overrun Criminal. Yeah. But nonetheless, GG. Criminal outlast Team Blue. But yeah, I mean, it's a good showing. He just needs to connect the final dots, right?
Yeah, he's improved quite a bit. Maybe with someone you have to worry about. But you know, let's see if he. I don't even know if he's getting coaching because I don't see. Usually, Cyan would be there telling him what's going on. So.
But yeah, if any of those things, right? Which let's say number 1, if the Colossus was with the army, number 1. Number 2, if the second attack where he didn't go single file.
Yeah.
That would have taken out the third, and that would have taken a lot of the wind out of the sails of the Terran, right?
Yeah, indeed.
All right, are we gonna see a game 3, or are we gonna see the third 2-0 of the night?
Map. So keep in mind that was a small map. So in the bigger map, he has a little bit more time to prepare for the push of the Terran. So. Game 2 coming up.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
This guy took a scare in the last game, even though he's heavily favored. He really narrowly won it. He is
Criminal.
All right, and our red Protoss almost had that game. He is.
Stu Blue 88.
So yeah, I think he's gotten the foundation down, right? His macro, his micro, scouting, looking around. He just needs to connect the final dots, right? Which is, how do you control your army? How do you counter? When do you counter? When do you not F2 back to your base if you're getting dropped, right?
Yeah.
Like those things. Because when he got dropped and that army kept going, that would have decimated that third base, and he could have easily dealt with that that drop with a round of zealots, right?
Yeah.
But like yeah, those little things. And then there's like 10 of them that he could have done better. And if he did any of those 10, we could have been looking at 1-2 blue here.
Yeah, and look at Criminal. He saw that there was a proxy, so he's gonna go the super long way. There's no proxy yet this time. Not a super early max packs type proxy anyway.
Let's see if he does this void rating that he did
Ooh,
against
he should do it.
Deepu.
He
Ah,
absolutely
he's
should do it. Where's he going?
oh, he's looking
checking for
around.
proxy. He's the one that's worried about BGs. And if he does that, I think he, Criminal does not know how to deal with it. So he was able to do it against Deepu. So
Yeah.
it's in his repertoire, right? So
Yeah, and also, I mean, that was not as executed as well as should have by Stu Blue, but he still won, right?
yeah,
Just shows you how powerful that strat is.
yeah.
But no, it's gonna be
What's he
a
doing?
robo, a one base robo. Huh.
And the Reaper's here.
Yeah, but there's a stalker on the way, which is good.
Yeah, at least he expanded. Because if he didn't expand, be very worried for him. Oh, I missed micro there. He could have had a better shot.
Yeah,
there.
he could have had that actually.
Yeah, so just a
If-
little bit.
One more shot. Nah, he does not get it.
Nah, Criminal is too much of a pro at this level with the Reaper. I mean, Reaper's been around since the beginning as a scouter, so he's not gonna screw that up, right? And it's like that's 12 years of practice since Winds of Liberty for Criminal, so he's not gonna screw that up. And there he is looking for some proxy still. His probe is funny. Everything stupid forgot about it. Yeah, look at that.
All right.
Criminal does not want to lose to a proxy.
Yeah.
So a much better game for Criminal though. His factories earlier than the last
Well,
game. 'Cause he
that's
didn't
what
pull-
happens. Yeah, when you don't pull 10 workers in the beginning of the game.
Suzu's build looks comparable from the last game. So let's see if he controls this game better. But keep in mind, Criminal's gonna have a better army this time, at least numbers wise. Because look, he was not.
Yeah, I
previous
mean,
game.
yeah. Number one, he didn't pull the workers. Number two, he's not spending on any of the defensive structures that he did in the first game, right?
Yeah.
So I think his unit count is going to be a lot more this game than the last game. So, but yeah, let's see. I mean, it's a bigger map. Maybe this gives Stu Blue enough room to get maxed out,
Yep.
get a big army.
He needs.
But yeah,
pile
I
up
like
a lot.
seeing though that he went Storm and he was utilizing Storm. Now the Storm wasn't the best, but still, right? At least it's there.
Yeah, and he
And
also
yeah, that
remember
last-
he did not warp in the Templars till super late. He could have had at least 2 storms.
Yeah.
So each Templar, right? So,
Yeah, more gateways here. There's a Storm.
no pylon down at the bottom, which I'm not. You always have to put a pylon battery down there.
Yeah, there is no pylon. That means you can't put batteries there.
I see a lot of Protosses make this mistake, at least at the newer levels, where they don't really put a pylon. They finally does. But shield battery is like to me is like a requirement unless you know for sure you're not getting attacked at the new base. At least at this level, right? I mean, I know pros can skip it if they feel like they have a good read. He's got 4 gates. Pretty good. He should have warped in Templars by now, and that's what I was saying, right? They need to be gathering energy. And look at this big push. He actually has 2 tanks on this push. This is going to be scary. He needs to
Yeah.
keep warping in. That's for sure. There's no medevac and no
Yeah.
SCVs to build bunkers, so
So he made a robo, but he never really utilized it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is when you make a robo, you make an observer, and you put it either the other side or in front of your base, so you know when they're coming.
Yep.
And you can pre-position your zealot so you can surround it. But none of that
No
happened.
shield battery at the front. The tanks are
Yeah.
gonna be sieged, and this is the mistake, right?
Yeah.
And you know, that's it. I mean, I don't see him breaking this.
Yeah, not with this set of units here. Yeah, these zealots are just gonna fall so quickly. There is a nice storm in between all of those marines. Marines dwindle in number, but there's still
Good run
so
back.
many.
Good run back. It's still possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean the 3 tanks. There's more coming.
The Colossus
There are
is
no.
coming out soon, but
Yeah, but they're the
oh,
three
he didn't
tanks
dispatch that
here.
last tank.
Yeah, the three
Oh,
tanks are the ones.
Go. Oh, losing all the work. Oh man, here goes.
Yeah, the Colossus does not have range, so he has to get up and up close there. And that, yeah, the Colossus is gonna get shelled out by the tanks easily. And that would be it. It's gonna be a quick game, quick night, and
He still had a lot of money. He just needs to clean up his build.
yeah.
He definitely had enough to stop this. He just needed to be efficient. And I would have worked in the Templars. Okay, when you're watching this VOD, work in that Templar as soon as that Templar archive is done. So you can have work through storms, right?
Yep. And also, yeah, just having vision. If you're playing against Terran, what you do not want the Terran to do is to set up shop right in front of your base.
Yeah, he's just
right
there. He was right there
Yeah.
before you could even do anything. That's like,
Yeah.
that's the scary part about Terran. You don't even see them coming. Because he didn't put
Yeah.
any scout up here or anything, he had no idea. Here's the big attack, and a little too late here.
I mean, he clears out the initial set of Marines, but there's just more where that
Yeah,
came
it's just
from,
continuous. It's gonna be continuous.
and it's gonna
on
be
one
a cloak
base.
banshee too.
Yeah.
And I think this is
But
it.
he has
I
double
mean,
upgrades too, which he doesn't really need in this situation, right? So I think
Yeah.
some build things that he could make this better. Definitely had a fighting chance. Especially
So
game
the
one
dou-
should have won. But
so the double upgrades, right? Typically, you don't want to see that until you get your third base economy, because otherwise it's expensive. And if you're spending money on upgrades, you could just die before you get those upgrades done, right? And that's what happened here.
you just gotta know what to spend your money on. But he did have a chance to shut this down if he was down there to read the Terran. Right? But anyway, it doesn't matter now.
Good games, gentlemen. Congratulations, criminal. But let's first talk to Stu Blue. Stu Blue, I gotta say, you really improved. You had that game number 1 in so many ways. And if you watch the VOD, you'll find out so many possibilities that you could have won that game. Right? I think we listed out like 10 of them. And if you did any one of those 10 correctly, you could have probably stolen that game. But you macroed well. You controlled your armies well. You just need to do the final connecting of the dots to get that victory. But you did a great job. But let's first start with the number one. The first thing you did in game number 1, which is proxy. What was the plan there first?
I was gonna do a 2-gate robo proxy, and I watched Classic do it, and it worked because the other guy's SCV went on the right side, not the left, and it just kind of screwed me.
Gotcha. And then second game, you didn't decide to do the proxy, although I saw your probe kind of looking around thinking about a proxy. Were you thinking about it or just decided not to do it at the last second?
I was gonna do like one gateway at his second base, and just like try to hold it off as long as I could, but I decided not to because he already had Marines out.
Gotcha. KJ?
Yeah, you look really good. Game 1, you definitely should have won that in many ways in one. There's like 10 things. If you just did one of the 10 things, you would have won for sure. So I know you'll watch the VOD and you can see that. Game 2 is tough because I think you had enough. You were a little off on some of the timing things, but you certainly gave us a really good series. I know you didn't expect to win at all, but honestly, you should have been up 1-0, maybe Criminals rattled, and then you could have gone a 2-0, especially if you did the Void Ray cheese, which he's not very good at dealing with. And I know you won with that strategy against Deepu, right? So I'm surprised you did pull it off. So I think you were so close, even though this is a 2-0, from upsetting Criminal here. What do you think?
I think I could just like, if I improved a little bit more, I could
you're
have won.
almost- Yep. Yeah, you're almost there.
I
So
think I
nice
just
job. Nice job.
yeah.
You improved quite a bit. Just watch the balls and keep playing, and I see you winning this division for sure.
Yeah. And congratulations, Criminal. I saw you were very, very safe there and careful in game number 1. Extra turrets, extra bunkers. What were you thinking? There was a cheese was coming, and you decided to pull the I think 8 to 10 SAVs in the beginning. Walk us through what was going through your head.
Because I didn't know how he played. I didn't know if he likes to cheese or so. I was just reacting every time I see something, and there was no build there. That was just like I want to see what he's gonna do, and then I'm gonna counter it. But it's very hard to counter with the Terran. Like if you're bio, your bio, you countered one thing. It's hard to switch back to another. So it was. I thought I did a good counter when I saw a lot of zealots. I just made more Hellions. I mean, I call that Hellions or Hellbats. And I think maybe on some fights it looked like he was gonna win, but I think the Hellbats ate most of the DPS. And yeah, I've encountered that play many times on the ladder, and the only time that I could beat it is with those Hellbats.
Yeah, I think your drops really held Stu Blue. I guess Stu Blue had a massive army, and I think if he took his massive army across the map, I think he would have done a lot of damage. But your drops just kept getting him pulled back, and I think that's one of the strengths that you always do, right? It's that you think your strength in terms of multitasking and dropping.
If you're a Terran, that's like you have to do it, or else, yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have any advantage in the start of the game.
Gotcha. KJ?
Yeah, it's looking good. You've improved quite a bit since the beginning of the season. This is why we put you in this league. But you've obviously gotten back, so you're going to be promoted in next season. But for now, you'll get tested here in the playoffs. So good luck to you. I'm sure you'll be ready to give someone here a headache. Probably knock someone out. So just best
Yeah,
of
and
luck.
so we'll see Criminal on the playoffs. It's gonna be his schedule will be on May 13th on Friday.
Do we have an idea who's playing? Let's go.
So he's gonna be playing the winner of the Code B versus the 4th seed. So the Code B could be Shampoo, Kitty Cat, or Fenrir. And then the winner between the Code B winner champion against either Deepu or Cyan. And so that's, or the possible opponents for Criminal. But he is going to be playing on the 13th on Friday, and that's going to be a best of 5.
Yeah.
This is where it starts, Criminal. I mean, gotta
Yeah. And then
show him
need
who's
to play.
boss.
and if he keeps winning, look, he goes all the way up to the Code S main playoff
That's right.
stage.
Yeah, if he wins Code A through and through, he's gonna face the number 5 seed, which at the moment is either gonna be KJ Freedom here or Mizell.
Yeah, at the moment it's me, but either way it's
Yeah.
TVT. So
But he has to get through the gauntlet of Code A, which would include either the Little Reaper or the Archaic, which both of them took a map off of Criminals. So we'll see how that goes in the playoffs.
exactly.
But looking forward to it. Good showing there for Criminal, but also good showing for Stu Blue. This ends his season. Congratulations. We'll look forward to seeing you in the future FSL and see more improvements out of you and hopefully in the playoffs.
Yep.
But good job, gentlemen. Good games. Actually,
Good
that
games, guys.
Good game.
wraps up our
Thank you,
evening.
thank you.
For
All
the,
right, see you guys next week.
See
See you
next
guys.
week for sure.
Well, actually, for Criminal, yeah, it's going to be the 13th. So the following Friday.
All right,
Alright.
okay.
Good
GG's,
games.
man.
GG's.
Bye.
All right. So Seth, yeah, let's take a review of what we see or
Yeah, so we
playoffs
only
again.
played Code A and Code SS tonight. So if you look at the standings, let's stay with Code A. Um, Code A is pretty much set for the numbers 1, 2, 3 seed. Right, so we have Criminal, number 1. And then The Archaic and Little Reaper are going to duke it out in the playoffs. Actually, the third place might not be set yet. So we'll see how Cyan and Deepu and how that goes. Who's gonna take the third seed? But third and fourth seed are still up in the air.
Yep.
But yeah, the Archaic and Criminal are set as the 1 and 2. And so Code A is pretty much done. I can't wait to see the Cyan Deepu match, which will wrap up Code A, and which is essentially a best of 3 playoff game for them. So
Yeah. We'll find out who's
And-
gonna be in the playoffs.
yeah. And then Code S, a lot of players have wrapped up the season as well. Hurting Time is done for the season. Freedom is also done. Ghost Chant does have 1 game remaining, but he is out of the playoffs because of the result last week. But he does have 1 more game against Mizell, and that Mizell game is important because Mizell needs to win 2 games against Ghost Chant and Instability. And if he does so, he will overtake Freedom. Otherwise, Freedom will take the 5th slot. And yeah, but actually, that's an interesting slot there, the 5th slot. Because if Criminal does go through, that 5th slot will play Criminal.
Yep.
And that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will be. So it goes from all these Terran games to another Terran. So for me, anyway.
Yeah. All right, and then so if we look at the other standings here, and we look at the 2v2 standings, we have 3 teams fighting for the last 2 slots, right? Tortoise and Hare, Purifiers, and Little Dom. Tortoise and Hare just needs to win 1 of its final 2 remaining games, and they're in. If they lose both, it's going to be interesting because there's going to be a 3-way tie for 3-3 record. And it's going to be the map difference, and it's going to be complicated. So Tortoise and Hare needs to win 1 of the 2 games. Now, they're playing Little Dom, which of course, Little Dom needs to win that to stay
yeah,
alive.
I think I figured it out. Yeah, if basically Little
Yeah.
Dom has to go 2-0. If they go 2-0, we go 2-0.
Well, you only have 1 game left. So you need to win that last game against
Yeah.
Tortoise and Hare.
Yeah, it has to be
Right.
2-0 too, I think.
Probably. And then Tortoise and Hare also has to play GG Izzy. So that's a tough matchup for them as well.
Yeah.
And that game, GG Izzy, they need to win that game to retain the number 1 seed. Because otherwise, if Kodayo beats Benzel, they take the number 1 seed. So
Yep.
now the number 1 seed is not as important as the other divisions because there's 4 teams that make it up. And you're just basically 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 play each other.
Yep.
But the level of the skill level difference among those 4 teams is not as big, and so it doesn't really matter who you play. It's just a matter of how well are you playing at the time, right?
Yeah.
So
this is
that's
cool.
a key one. So that's gonna be the 2 games in 2v2 on Friday. Right, both of them by Tortoise and Hare. So we'll wrap up Tortoise and Hare season on Friday, and then we'll also see the Code A match between Cyan and Deepu this Friday, and that'll wrap up Code A, and we'll know exactly where everybody stands in that division.
Yeah,
So
and then that would mean the schedule is
yeah,
is almost
yeah.
done.
So if you look at the schedule's kind of being updated. It's kind of dynamic in the playoffs, but the ones that we do know have already been filled in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
So if
pretty
you
much
see
it.
Criminals already there, the Archaics already there. They're just waiting for the number 3 and 4 seeds.
Yeah, indeed. And
Yeah.
whoa, what a subscription, Old Man Toast. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. That's appreciate that sub, Mr. Old Man Toast. Maybe you can join one of our tournaments. And while he is while we do have him, I'm gonna show you guys something cool with the guy who just subbed for us right there. Thank you for the sub, Old Man Toast. There you go. That's the guy who graced us with the Size Storm jersey. Give him a follow on his channel and then Twitter too.
Yeah, maybe he can join us in FSL as long as you're not
He's not
mid
Grandmaster or Master.
masters,
Yeah,
high
yeah,
masters, or grandmasters.
yeah. Yep.
If you're anywhere between bronze to very low masters,
Mm-hmm.
you can join our FSL since this is an amateur league.
Yeah, and also I think we got a massive host. Also. And I haven't gotten the notification right now for it. I don't know why. Maybe. But appreciate you guys. I appreciate the host. Let me find out who did that because it's not showing up on any of my notifications.
But yeah, so I think that's it. And then we have one more regular season match, set of matches next Wednesday.
Yep.
And that'll involve Benzel. It's gonna be a bunch of Mizel matches since Mizel we had to push his games out on Wednesday, so he's gonna have 4 matches that night. I hope he's ready for a marathon.
Yeah,
But that'll wrap up our season, and so I can't wait for the playoffs.
Yeah. No, that playoffs is coming up, guys. FSL's been 26 days of broadcasts. We're finally almost there. We actually did it in less broadcasts than last season.
Yeah, because we were doing 4 matches a night sometimes, and I think 3 is ideal. 4 is just too long. So we're gonna try to stick with 3 matches a night. But yeah, I mean, for all the players who are still listening, make sure you keep up to date with the schedule for the playoffs because it's dynamically changing as results come in. And so you'll know when to play, and by looking at it, you'll know your schedule. You kind of have an idea when to play. So keep that in mind so there won't be any conflict in schedules because it's hard to adjust now in the playoffs.
Yep.
Right. In the regular season, we're able to move stuff around, but in playoffs, it's harder because of the way we have it set up, where we have to make sure Code B finishes first before we really get on Code A, and we have to make sure Code A is really done because the last representative goes into Code S and so forth. And so it's harder to schedule that. So make sure you keep up to date and look at the schedule on a regular basis to whenever we get results to know when you're playing. So.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. See you, Seth. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Next Friday.
And we'll end this cast with the view of the player lineup as we started the season, who the players were. So, see you guys later.
GG's.